Hi guys. So continuing our lesson on crosscuts, we're now going to learn backward crosscuts. The methods and instructions involved in backward crosscuts will help you greatly whether you're doing a high level skating and figure skating or you want to improve your back crosscuts and work on your hockey game. So first we're going to talk about the two edges involved, the two pushes involved, and then do some drills and exercises we can do to make them better. In a backward crosscut, we have a back outside edge, and when we cross over we have an inside edge. I'm going to slowly demonstrate a back crosscut just to go over that. So when I do my first push, I end up on a back outside. When I cross, I'm on an inside edge on the other foot. Okay, now how many pushes in a crosscut? I'm teaching a lot and I always ask kids this question: how many pushes in a crosscut? Majority of them usually say one, because they're always thinking of, on a back crosscut, you cross and cross, so there's one push, and they forget that there's actually two pushes. The one they generally forget is the first one, this one. So there's the first push and the second push. Okay, so let's talk about how to develop the power and the technique on the first push. The first push is the outside leg. So I'm going on a circle this way. So if I'm doing the first push, I would call that a C push. You're not going to do a full letter C. It's about half of it, but you generally want to use the analogy of a C to get the shape of that first push. Okay? So an exercise we can do is go around the circle and just do C cuts with the outside foot. So bring your feet back together, and make a big powerful C push. One thing I would want you to do is, as you're doing the push, is keep this foot on an outside edge. Okay, because as I said in my forward crosscuts, there's nothing harder to do when you're learning crosscuts and not be on an edge. You got to be on an edge. It makes the cross easier, it makes your crosscuts easier. Everything just becomes better when you're on better, deeper edges. Okay, so the first exercise I did was the C push, working on that first push. Now after the C push, you want to be able to hold that outside edge. So the next exercise I want you to do is the C cut and hold the outside edge around the whole circle. So here we go. I'm going to do 3 C cuts. 1, 2, 3, and now I'm just going to lift that outside edge and work on the balance holding that. Okay, if you can't hold that outside edge, I wouldn't even bother working on the crosscut yet. You want to be able to hold that edge comfortably before you try crossing over. Okay, so now that we can hold the edge, now we got to cross and go on an inside edge on this foot, this way. Okay, so I'm going to slowly demonstrate a crosscut again. So I do the first C push, outside edge, I take that foot and I cross over and I push under with that foot. If you can look at where my foot is, that's where my foot should end up on a crosscut. So many times I see in figure skating and hockey that the foot goes here on the crosscut. It goes behind. I don't want it behind, I want it under. Why under? Well, if I cross over and I try to push now and I go back, I'm not getting any speed because I'm not actually using an edge. But when I push under, I'm using this edge on this foot and ending up on an inside on the other foot. Okay, so we got outside edge on this foot, cross over, inside edge on the other foot. Okay, one common mistake I see when people are doing back crosscuts is after they get their first C push and they cross over, they're not comfortable holding that inside edge, so their hips start to turn. Try to keep your hips backwards on the circle. So you do the C push, do it slow to start, cross, and keep your hips backwards and feel that inside edge. As you get better, you'll get more comfortable and realize you're not supposed to be turning your hips into the circle. Keep your hips backwards. Okay? You can also keep your arms on an imaginary circle. Okay? Because as soon as you start to turn your shoulders and go like this, it's a lot harder. So if you think of taking that back shoulder, back as in I'm going this way and this is my back shoulder, this is my trailing shoulder, so this shoulder here, if I keep that open, that'll help me stay outside, inside. Okay? So try to avoid having your crosscuts like this. I'm going to do a demonstration of back crosscuts with my shoulders closed and then with my shoulders open, and you can see the difference. So here we go. Back crosscuts, and I'm generally flat. As soon as I open it, I can start to lean into the circle and do outside, inside. Okay. So try all those things, those tips and drills I said, and your progress on your back crosscuts will improve a lot. If you already at an advanced stage and you want to be even better at your back crosscuts, here's some things I can tell you. Bend your ankles and tell your brain to do deeper outside, inside edges, okay? So many people, especially in hockey, that are pretty good skaters, not so great at backwards, but pretty good skaters, they're doing back crosscuts, but they're not really on a deep edge. If you can, I'm going to do a demonstration of semi-deep and then super deep, okay? This is decent outside, inside, but not really deep. But now if I go lower and my edges get deeper, bad patch of ice. If I go lower, I can really get on deeper outside on this foot and then deeper inside on that foot. Okay? Lower to the ice, more stability, deeper edges, and your crosscuts will be that much better. All right, thanks guys.